What is up, party people?
You tell me.
It is I, V. Moreno. Ashley Pickle is.
This is actually we can tell you where Ashley Pickle is.
Oh, we can. Oh, it's Greg.
Hi, hello. What's up? Ashley Pickle's on her honeymoon.
Ashley Pickle is on her honeymoon.
She has not been on her honeymoon the entire time, but she is on her honeymoon right now.
She is.
So, but we are enjoying it. We are in the capable hands of V. Moreno. Hello, V. Moreno.
Hi.
We're on tape right now. I want to be very clear and transparent with you. We're on tape because we're trying to get a jump on the holiday weekend. But normally when we're on tape, we don't do a pre-show. Mm-hmm. But for reasons that will become apparent later, I really want to get this pre-show topic out today because last night, or yesterday rather, I went to the ball game with Hank. I had owed Hank like a dad trip.
You did.
Like, it was a dad. We had some dad vibes, dad son things.
Dad son.
So took him to the Ranger game out there.
It was a good game.
I think it was a great game. They won.
I saw the score.
They beat Matt Stepp's Orioles.
I saw that.
But I wanted to come on here because I recently had a birthday. I think you know that.
Yeah.
So I recently had a birthday. And what's interesting about my age is that I can feel myself transitioning. And what I mean by that is, for a long time, I have felt like the oldest young man. Okay? I felt like the oldest young man. Mm-hmm. And now I can feel myself transitioning to being the youngest old man. Does that make sense? And there's a key distinction there.
The youngest old man.
That instead of I will identify as in the old man generation, I'm just the youngest part of that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I can feel myself doing that.
Okay.
And last night, it was very clear that that's happening to me, at least slowly, because I have four old man takes from last night's ball game, from my experience. 4 of them. Okay? You ready for this?
Go.
Okay.
Never been more ready.
You can just say, go off.
Go off, sis.
Go off, king. Okay. Old man take number 1.
Go off.
I missed ticket stubs. Okay? I missed ticket stubs. Now
I have something to add to that too.
Now later. It's on the phone, right? And I just go in and I scan the QR code and me and Hank go in and it just lives on my phone and I missed the ticket stub. There's no receipt for me. And I reckon, I want to be very clear. I know why they're doing it. It is A, cheaper, and B, more secure.
Yes,
absolutely. I get it.
I get
and
it.
Also, we can say it sucks. We can say it's worse than it was, right? There you go. You said you have something to add to that?
Well, I went to Six Flags yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
And boy, Six Flags has changed. Well, my dad, right before we were about to go into the park, my dad wanted a map, right, of the park.
Hell yeah. Let me tell you who loves a map. Hank Tepper. The boy loves a map.
My dad was like, hold on, guys, let me go get a map. And he went to the area where they usually have the help desk, and you can get all that information for the park. He comes back with nothing in his hands. And he goes, they said to download the app and everything will be there. Yeah, and right. I was like, aw. I felt my dad was sad.
The digitization of the world and everything is not great. And that's said by someone who runs a magazine, right? So, grain of salt. Okay, that's old man take number 1.
Okay,
old man take number 2. Okay?
Okay.
Kids today do not understand how good they have it with regards to concessions. They do not understand. When I was going to ball games as a kid, hot dog, nachos, pretzel, popcorn, peanuts, maybe cotton candy, maybe ice cream, right? If they had the Dippin' Dots, That was like luxurious.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They have brisket. They have chicken empanadas. They had lobster mac and cheese at the Rangers game. Okay? Now, Hank only got like a cheeseburger basket, but there was a time when that would have been unspeakable.
That's next level.
Outrageous. The amount of kids today do not understand how good they have it. Okay?
That sounds like 5-star.
Old man take number 2. Old man take number 3. Okay? Hank wanted to go in the gift shop. Hank wanted to go into the pro shop and stuff like that. I haven't been in a stadium gift shop in a hot minute. Okay? The prices are shocking. Shocking.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
I went in there. We were going to the kid stuff so Hank could look at some stuff. They had a polo, and I was like, oh, that looks like a nice, you know what I'm talking about. Just like a polo short sleeve. It was
Branded,
dry fit, had the Rangers tee on it and stuff like that. Nothing special, just like a nice polo. I was like, oh, look at that. I grabbed the price tag. They wanted $95 for it.
You know, and I was going to say $60.
Okay. Oh no, it gets worse because Hank saw a bobblehead of the Rangers mascot, which is an anthropomorphic horse, and I don't like it. But the Rangers captain or whatever, $80. Shocking. I did not see a single thing in there that was priced in a way that you could even consider in even viewing it on the on the curve of they're gonna rip you off because it's a ball game. Even viewing it on that curve, every one of the things that I saw was priced outrageously. Every single thing. That's old man take number 3. My 4th and final old man take. Okay. I haven't mentioned this on this show before, but it's worth re-upping. Mm-hmm. So we went to the game. It was Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. Okay. The number of people getting absolutely bombed, absolutely blasted, absolutely S-faced on alcohol.
Oh, man.
At these ball games is incredible to me.
There's a trend going on right now. 9 hot dog. 9
oh
innings,
no, I've seen that. The 999.
The 9 hot dogs, 9 beers. Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Just unbelievable. I remember the first time I went to a ball game and they had liquor there. And I was like, wow, that seems intense.
It's a lot.
Now there is liquor everywhere. And I want to be real clear about this. I love myself a drink. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love myself a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
I am not here to hate on it. We got rid of prohibition for a reason in this country.
Agreed.
Okay? I like myself a drink.
Uh-huh.
But twofold here. One, it's a Tuesday against the Orioles. What are we doing? And 2, it's $18 beer night.
Oh man, what?
You're dropping $160 to get sloshed at a Tuesday night game against Baltimore?
That's not a deal.
You're getting sloshed to watch Alejandro Osuna on a Tuesday night? You got work tomorrow, bruh. But this is a common thing across all sporting events too.
Yeah, it is.
And I know this makes me sound like an old man, and it's going to sound like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth because again, I do enjoy a good beverage, but the over-alcoholization of sports is rampant. It is rampant, and it's. I don't know, man. People are going to sporting events exclusively to get effed up.
That's the move, I guess.
Exclusively. And you gotta do you. Please be safe.
Do you see a lot going on over there?
Man.
Oh, man.
The amount of alcohol being consumed.
around.
It's incredible. Anyway, those are my 4 old man takes from going to the Rangers game.
I love that.
There you go. We need a new segment. It's called like Old Man Takes with Old Man Tepper. Something like that. Anyway, hit the theme, Expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show with summer fever. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you are watching us at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of those places, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there in her pod today, making the buttons mash, pulling the levers, just doing all things. There's like cords hanging from the ceiling. She's got to pull at specific times.
The big wheel.
She's got to spin the big wheel. It's our friend Vianney Moreno. Hi, Vianney Moreno.
Hey, guys.
You went to Six Flags yesterday, and you're going to
Hurricane Harbor tomorrow. Today, as we speak.
Real ones known as Wet and Wild. But anyway.
That's why. Were you the one that said that?
Yeah, that's me.
I was like, why'd you call it Wet and Wild?
It used to be Wet and Wild.
It used to be Wet and Wild.
Before they rebranded in a poor way. Anyway. Today is... Oh, we're on tape, by the way. I should tell you. We are on tape. So don't, we won't do Force the Door. Don't yell at me. But we got good content for you. Today is Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. It is a mere 147 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Tom Cruise. Thomas Cruise turns 63 today. It is episode 1871. On today's show, folks...
Wait, Tom Cruise?
Did I stutter?
Sam would be hyped.
Yeah, today Tom's Cruise birthday.
We also have a Tom Cruise in the staff.
Who?
Sam.
Or are we saying he looks like Tom Cruise?
He looks like Tom Cruise, yeah.
Today, big show. A couple things. One, we got Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Well, we're going to break down kind of the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Let me move my head out of the way. The cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, that bad boy. We're going to break it down as far as historic, what it means and what it means historically throughout the annals of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We'll talk about that. Then we have a major Texas Football Today announcement. A major Texas Football Today announcement coming up here. And then back half the show, we got This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting. We recorded it even before we're recording now, so it's like, I'm going to change clothes. But you will hear all about, especially his takeaways from State 7-on-7 and what he saw from big-time recruits down there at State 7-on-7. We'll have all of that coming up for you on this blistering episode of Texas Football Today. But VNA... It is, in fact, a Thursday in the off-season, and you know what that means. It means it's time for Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today, where we break down, go inside the numbers of Texas high school football. And today, we're going to do a little bit of navel gazing.
Navel gazing?
You should look that up. We're going to do a little bit of self-congratulation here. And we're going to talk about the cover of the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football featuring Steve Sarkisian on the main cover. Now, I want to be very clear. What we're going to talk about today is focusing on the main cover. Okay? And essentially, every year we put together the summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We've done this 66 times now in our history. And I know people who watch this show or have heard me talk over the last umpteen years know what I say about it, which is specifically, hey, Tough decision. Got to make sure we get it right, because we will get one bite at this apple every year. We got to make sure it goes in the history books. And so if you put out a crappy cover, you just got to live with the crappy cover. If you like to me, what I want to do is put out a cover that is going to stand the test of time. And even if the players or the predictions or whatever go on and they're incorrect, right? And it turns out it's like, oh, that was a dud because that player ended up not being great, or that coach turned out not to be great. I would actually look at like the last time we put the Texas coach on the cover with Tom Herman under the headline of Mastermind, right? The headline did not age well, but I think the image aged well. And that's kind of what we're going for as far as telling a story of taking a snapshot in Texas football history. And so we put Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of the Texas Longhorns, on the cover this year. And so what I wanted to do was take a look at where this kind of fits in among the history of Dave Campbell's Texas football covers. And again, we're going to focus specifically on the main cover, so no gatefold covers, right? And we are going to focus on and we're going to focus on just the main cover subject, okay? So you look throughout the course of the history of the magazine, we've had things up in the top right that might advertise something else. That's what we in the business call a reefer, because we're referring to something in the magazine. But I've tried to scale those out, get those out of there, because I like I like a clean cover like this. Mm-hmm. That's my own personal preference as editor-in-chief. But we're going to focus on the main cover subjects, okay? Now, I do also have to tell you something. You are going to notice that we've done 67 covers, right? We've done 66 editions of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, counting this one, right? Mm-hmm. You are going to notice that the numbers that we break down do not add up to 66. Instead, I believe they add up to 68. Let me make sure of this. Yeah, they add up to 68. That is because there are a couple of years where we did multiple covers. There are a couple of years back in the late 90s where we had multiple covers of the magazine. The one with Mac Brown and Ricky Williams was one cover, and then they also did a cover that was, I believe that was Dat Win, Texas A&M. Right? They did decide we're going to do same magazine, two different covers. They also did one, I believe it was the year that they put Dennis Franchione and Mac Brown on the cover. There was also a cover that was Troy Aikman of the Dallas Cowboys. So you'll notice that when we do these, when we talk about this, there's 68 covers for 66 magazines.
Were those like special editions?
They were sold as like you could buy this cover or you could buy that cover. It wasn't a special edition. I think they might have printed more of one than the other. Okay. But as far as covers are concerned, in my opinion, that is a main cover, and so we have to count it. And so first things first, I want to look at the schools or the programs with the most covers, and these are that have appeared on the most covers. Okay? The Texas Longhorns lead the pack. They've been on the cover 27 times. This counts, by the way, times that they were on with other schools, right? So when you have, multiple, when you had Colt McCoy and Stephen McGee and Tommy Blake on the cover of the 2007 edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, right? That counts as a TCU cover, a Texas cover, and an A&M cover. Okay? Texas leads the pack to be on the cover 27 times. A&M, 21 times. Texas Tech, 11 times. TCU's got 9. Baylor's got 8. Houston and SMU each have 5. And the Dallas Cowboys have been on twice. You also have programs. Rice has been on one time. North Texas has been on one time, as far as main cover subjects are concerned. So this is by school or program, because you count in Dallas Cowboys. These are the programs that have been on the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football the most. Now, another thing you'll notice every year is that we have to decide like what the cover composition is, right? And specifically, are we going to feature one school? Are we going to feature multiple schools? Now, over the course of my tenure here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, I have tried, this is just me pulling back the curtain here, I have tried to make it so that if your school is on the cover, it's your cover, right? Texas is on the cover this year. Now, last year, playing on the rivalry, we had Texas and A&M. But Sonny Dykes, TCU. That was TCU's cover. When Shane Buechele was on the cover, that was an SMU cover. When Texas Tech was on the cover with Cliff Kingsbury and Patrick Mahomes, that was a Texas Tech cover, right? There are exceptions there, right? We put Jeff Traylor and we want to tell the story, but if at all possible, I like to, as editor-in-chief, say this is the year for them. They get the cover. That has not always been the history across Dave Campbell's Texas football. And so this is a breakdown of the covers as far as which teams are multiple teams, which covers are multiple teams, and which covers are a single team. Okay? And you will see that over the course of our history, almost 70% have been a single team cover. They've been a single team. That if you're on the cover, it is your cover. Now, there are almost 31% of schools or of covers that are multiple, right? When we put Quinn Ewers and Connor Wegman on the cover last year, that was a multiple team cover. But when we put Sonny Dykes on the cover in 2023, that was a single team cover. So you see, over the course of our history, generally speaking, we have liked to have a single team cover, right? But the other thing that's interesting to me, and I think a variable here with the cover, is the cover composition versus, like, as far as who's on the cover, right? Are we doing multiple players? Is it a single player? Is it a coach? Is it multiple coaches? And over the course of our history, if you take a look at the cover composition, single player has been the most common cover. 27 times it's been a single player, right? Shane Buechele, Cedric Benson, right? It's only been a single player. 15 times there's been multiple players, right? So you take a look at when we had Connor Wegman and on the cover, Connor Wegman and Quinn Ewers. When we had Colt McCoy, Stephen McGee, Tommy Blake, multiple players. That has been the second most, tied with a single coach. We've had a single coach on the cover 15 times now. Steve Sarkisian, Jimbo Fisher, Sonny Dykes, Tom Herman, right? Darrell K. Royal going back to the 60s, the 70s, late 70s. We've had that. Next up is player and coach. So Cliff Kingsbury and Patrick Mahomes. Right, we've had player and coach. When we had Mac Brown and Ricky Williams on the cover together, that would be one. More rare is multiple coaches. Now, it has happened. It's happened 4 times in our history. Of course, the most recent was back in 2022 when we had Jeff Traylor and Joey McGuire on the cover. It's only happened 4 times in our history. Rarer than that is multiple players and a coach. Okay, go back to 2008 when we had Mike Leach, Michael Crabtree, and Graham Harrell on the cover. Multiple players, one coach. That has only happened 3 times in our history, where it's been multiple players and a single coach. And then the most rare is the illustration. The illustration. It's happened twice. Okay. Ball knowers know that it happened in 2015 when we went on and the play of the game. We wanted to advocate for Texas and A&M to renew their rivalry. The other time was, I believe it was 1995 with the break of the Southwest Conference. That was an illustration that was made with multiple schools. And so, we kind of putting all that together, the most common type of cover that we have in the history of Dave Campbell's Texas football is a single player from a single school. That is, and normally it has been, and if you want to extrapolate that out, I don't know this to be a fact, but Texas would probably be in the lead. A single player, when we had Sam Ehlinger back in 2019, that would be a single player from a single school. As the most common type of cover that we do. Obviously, we went with a coach this year, but a single school, a single coach. So, diving into the numbers of what the history of Dave Campbell's Texas football's covers have looked like. It's fascinating for me, and it's something that we always keep in mind. We don't want to necessarily, we're of the belief around here that it ain't broke, so let's not fix it. Mm-hmm. So, That's kind of what we're up against and what we're kind of considering when we're putting together the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. You think we do this willy-nilly? We do not.
You don't think we'll ever have an illustration ever again?
I don't want to say never, but
never say never.
I don't want to say never, but it has obviously been rare. It's only happened twice. I would like to stay away from it because I think that there's enough compelling characters in the magazine, or rather in Texas, that we can highlight a player. But don't ever say never. I've already done it once, 2015. My second magazine.
What was your first?
My first on staff was 2011, Jonathan Gray and Cyrus Gray. Mm-hmm. My first as managing editor was in 2014 when we had Art Briles and two players from Baylor whose names I'm forgetting, Antoine Goodley, and the quarterback that year whose name I forget. But anyway,
wow,
that was 2014. That was my first one, and this is my first magazine's editor-in-chief. So there it is. A look inside our history in Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday!
We're at Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. All right, VNA. Before we get to our major announcement, I would like to invite you to go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Become Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Get your magazine mailed directly to you. We'll drop it in the mail for you right now and get to you. Plus, you get a year of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, our streaming platform. 2,000 live events on your device. Part of your Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscription. Makes a great gift. Tomorrow's America's birthday. You know what Lady Liberty will want you to do?
Subscribe.
Subscribe to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. All right, Pickle. Jeez.
VNA. What?
VNA. I don't know. You guys look alike. We have a major...
You've been saying that a long time.
Texas football... I know. We have a major Texas Football Today announcement. And it's a bit of bad news, and then it's a bit of good news. It's like a bad news with a good news chaser. Okay? So the bad news for y'all, but not for us, for y'all, is that Texas Football Today is going to take a break. We are going to go on summer break, starting today is our last episode for a while. We're going to go on summer break until mid-August when we get football season up and running. We got a lot of stuff to do around here to get ready for football season. A lot of exciting things coming down the pike that we want to make sure that we are ready for. And as a result, we want to make sure that we are giving it the time and due diligence that it deserves. And so the studio is going dark. This is not necessarily, it's going to probably be the longest time we've gone without Texas Football Today in the show's history. But we're going to go dark. All of our shows are going to go dark. The studio is going to go dark for the next few weeks leading up to football season. We will be back in mid-August, just in time for football season, talk a little ball. This gives us an opportunity to recharge, gives us an opportunity to put together some new things that we're working on for football season, etc. I know that stinks, and I know that there are people who are not going to like that, and I recognize that, but this is what's right for us and our staff, and it's what's right for putting together a spectacular product for you in the fall with all the football coverage that you've come to expect and more from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That's the bad news, so let that sink in. Be mad at me. You can be mad at me.
We're going to be better.
We're going to be better. We're going on a small hiatus to make sure that we are doing the best that we can.
We're going to cook.
We're going to get cooking. So, that's the bad news. But the good news is that you're not getting rid of us entirely, because we have something extremely exciting to share with you. And that is at THSCA Coaching School and Convention, July 20th, that's Sunday, and July 21st, we will be live from coaching school for 3 straight days.
Woohoo! Sunday,
July 30th or 20th, Monday, July 21st, Texas Football Today, live from coaching school with big name guests. And guys, when I tell you, you've come to expect Texas Football Today to be about 30 minutes to an hour, bruv. Maybe triple that. maybe quadruple that.
Tune in all day.
We are going to be streaming live from coaching school with huge name guests, a number of them already booked. We are working on shoring up our roster, but big name college coaches, big name high school coaches, big name guests on Texas Football Today live from Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio, Sunday, July 20th, Monday, July 21st, live at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. And I will tell you, strap in, because we are going to be on for a long, long time. This is, by the way, presented by our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission, who are helping to make this possible. We really appreciate them helping us out to make this event happen. The Arlington Sports Commission sponsoring Texas Football Today live from THSC at Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio. But that's not all, because then Tuesday, July 22nd, a live episode of Tep and Step. Greg Tepper, Matt Stepp, Vianney Moreno, live from coaching school.
Let's
the THSCA Coaching School and Convention, giving you all the insights and all the nonsense you've come to expect from your friends Tep and Step. That's coming up July 20th, July 21st, July 22nd, live at 11 a.m. each of those days, live from coaching school in San Antonio. We are really, really excited about that. First time we've ever gone live from coaching school. We are going to have big name guests, a parade of big name guests, multiple guests for multiple hours. Okay, lots of content coming your way. So, to recap, this is the last episode of Texas Football Today from the studio until mid-August. However, July 20th, 21st, and 22nd, live, 11 a.m. from Texas Football Today and Tep and Step, live from Coaching School, THSCA Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio. We're really excited about that. And we're really excited for what we've got cooking for you in the fall. A lot of great stuff coming from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Yay. Coming up here in just a moment, Greg Powers, speaking of letting him cook, Greg Powers is here to talk This Week in Recruiting. But first, a word from these valued partners.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wings drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
Joined out here by Hayden Gunner at Denton High School. Man, it's a big day for you. You got your decision coming right now.
After a lot of thinking, with the family talking, stressing out.
Let's see exactly where Malik Hawkins is going to be heading.
First off, I want to start by thanking God. Without him, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be blessed with all these opportunities.
Got 5 schools he's choosing between. We're about to find out who it's going to be. Got your teammates, coaches, family, friends surrounding you, so you couldn't have a bigger stage right here to announce it on. So without further ado, we're going to go to the man right here, Kobe Foreman. Who's it going to be?
I will be attending.
I'll be committed to the University of Oklahoma.
University of Texas A&M.
Stanford University.
The University of Oklahoma.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Cruton.
with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He has fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting. And of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. I think I have more loyalty to Chicken Express than I have to most of the people in my life.
Yeah, and we got a Chicken Express fest around the state 7-on-7.
Right.
We had to come in and work on the weekend, and the whole office was here, and we ordered Chicken Express for everybody, and there were leftover Chicken Express tenders for the next day. And I have to tell you, that was probably the leftovers. They slapped pretty hard the next day.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I think that's a really interesting point. Most food that is served to you in a fast casual way, I feel like the half-life on it is pretty small. It's like you got to eat it within the first 30 minutes or it's going to go bad. I got to be honest. I had a attendee the next morning. Not the next morning. It was the next day.
You had one in the morning. I know you did. Don't
tell my wife. But let me tell you, I didn't even heat it up. It was just like cold. Money.
I told Power's wife whenever I got home there was a line of 4 people, all with chicken, all with Chicken Express. Like whenever I went into the kitchenette area, and I was like, "Oh, well, are there actually any tenders left?" And my man Gavin looked out for me, slid me a couple of his tendies, so my day was saved.
So my boys are 6 and 3, and on the way home, when we were after doing the bracket reveal or the pool reveal show, we'd ordered too much, and Brooke, our boss, told me, she's like, "Hey, pack up a box for the boys," and I'm thinking, okay. They're really picky and stuff like that. When I tell you that whole box was gone in like 30 minutes by the time I walked in there. Anyway, Chicken Express, we love you. It's This Week in Recruiting. We'll start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise is West Columbia 2026 cornerback Mudassir Abdullah, who this week picked up some offers from Texas State and from Houston. And a big reason why, he's been on radars, but I think a big reason why was a star-making performance at the state 7-on-7 tournament that you were at.
No doubt about it. 6 foot, 165-pounder. He plays 2 ways there at West Columbia, and he's over 1,000 yards as a receiver. But I loved him showcasing his talent in the secondary. This is a guy who made a ton of plays, including one of the best plays of the 7-on-7 tournament, which was a diving interception, which helped him earn status as one of our all-state selections for 7-on-7 this year, and led to a couple of offers. I think I'm venturing to guess that these schools were already pretty high up on potentially offering him, but maybe this was the event that helped push him over the hump to pick up a couple of big ones, including Houston, which is an in-state P4 option. I know Rice probably has to be bumming a little bit, so we'll see how this shakes out. He did take an official visit to Rice, so we'll see if the Owls can keep pace in this recruitment. Obviously, getting in on them early would give them a bit of a leg up.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about State 7-on-7 while we're here and stuff. But one of the things I think is really important is we talk about what we try to gain from this media and how to project it forward. It's also a big event for recruiters to get an eye on players competing at a high level against high-level talent. Like that, I think, can't be overstated here. And I think Mudassir Abdullah is a perfect example of a guy whose stock rose because he was going up against good competition and he showed out.
I think another thing to take into account here, too, is like the quality of the highlights and stuff that are coming out there. there. Not only, I mean, mainly from our team that's around taking 7-on-7 highlights from all the fields and stuff, but there's a lot of access out there for you to put on a show and it get caught on camera where you can use that to help your recruitment. So I feel like the state 7-on-7 tournament is one of the premier events in all of Texas, especially as 128 teams, all come in to one location. And what I love about that event is, you have your independent 7-on-7s and all that kind of stuff, but I love this event because it shows off the team aspect a little bit more. What type of leader is this guy?
Bingo.
Is he bigger to me than his listed attributes, or has the coach inflated the height and weight that that happens? And he passed the eyeball test. We list him at 6 foot 165. He comes off bigger than that. He comes off 6'1", 180. That's how he plays. And if you were to tell me he was that big, I would not argue with you, because that's what your brain tells you when you watch him.
And you mentioned one more point on the 7-on-7 thing is the team aspect of it. A lot of what I think we end up watching is like, yes, there's spectacular highlights to be made. Mudassir Abdullah is doing that. But also it's like, if his team has a tough moment, is he over there jaw-jacking with his team? Is he over there, picking a fight?
Blaming,
like
pointing his finger.
Pointing fingers, stuff like that. Why didn't you cover him? Stuff like that. And instead, this is a good opportunity to show out what kind of leader you are and what kind of teammate you are as well. And I think
because there's a right way to do what you said.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a leader, you have to call out a weakness on the team to try to make it become stronger or better. But it's not a blame game or,
finger pointing,
Yeah, finger pointing, crying, that kind of stuff. But he was a leader, and he looks the part. I love him in the secondary, but I know he could play wide receiver as well. But give me a guy like that can lock down somebody on the island, and I'm a fan.
He's a playmaker for sure. Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to Flower Mound to talk about their 2026 offensive lineman, Drew Evers, a big-time prospect in the class of 2026. And he had offers from places like A&M, Ohio State, LSU, Penn State. And he commits to SMU.
Big get for the Ponies.
What a win for Rhett Lashley and company.
Huge victory here. And that's why I wanted to shine the spotlight on this recruitment. There were a lot of big commits this week, right? There were multiple ones that we could have went with here. The reason why I wanted to shine the spotlight on Evers is because of those schools you mentioned. He took official visits to those schools. Wow. And if you don't take an official visit to a school, that school's not going to land you. So SMU went right up against the national champs in Ohio State. Obviously, from years covering this, I know the Penn State official visit experience is out of this world, right? Happy Valley brings something to the table that's unique. Baton Rouge, same thing. Like the culture at Baton Rouge is amazing. And Texas A&M, both of his parents went to Texas A&M, right? Wow. So they were both attended college in College Station. So to beat those schools, SMU, to me, has made a bigger point. Drew Evers is a number 26 prospect and a 4-star in the DCTF rankings. That's a huge win for SMU. He's the highest rated dude in this class. But to go up against the elite of the elites in college football, 35 plus offers for Drew Evers, that says to me something about SMU. And I'm going to ask you, Tepper, because you watch what I do a lot. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest wins for SMU since we've been doing This Week in Recruiting when we started it 7 years ago.
I mean, I go back to when RJ Maryland was committed on our airwaves, right? Yep. And I remember thinking, man, what a massive win for SMU.
3-star.
A 3-star guy, right? For them to get RJ Maryland, a guy who was nationally recruited. And now, Drew Evers, I think, exceeds that. I think that if you want to say that this is the biggest win, at least of the Rhett Lashley era,
right,
which would probably make it the biggest win of the last 20 years?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're way out of bounds there. This is a huge victory for them.
I'm happy to eat crow on the RJ Maryland 3-star thing, right? We all know he should have been a 4-star now. But on the timeline, this one's so huge because throw rankings out the window, throw stars out the window, whatever you think about that. Look at the offers. 35 plus offers. He's one of the biggest recruits in the country. He's a guy who can play anywhere up front, left tackle, right tackle, offensive guard. He can even center snap. So the versatility here with Evers is elite, and to beat over 35 nationally rated programs for the commitment tells me that Rhett Lashley and co., they've got that thing rolling.
They're cooking. Absolutely. It's a huge win for SMU. Let's round things out with our underclassman of the week. Our underclassman of the week, talk about another guy who shined at the state 7-on-7 tournament, Pflugerville Weiss wide receiver Trey Moore, who was all over the place.
Get your stars ready.
I mean, yeah. He's a guy who's already got 25 offers. He's a class of 2027 guy, and that number of 25 offers is going to go up.
To me, prospect-wise, I would love to get some more verified speed info too, but prospect-wise, there were some very elite performances at the 7-on-7 this year. Jalen Lott had one of the best performances that I can ever remember seeing. He's up there towards the top. I'm going to shout out my dude Marcus Trice, who's an assistant coach at SFA now. Back in his day, Marcus Trice's 7-on-7 still goes down as like one of the very best. But Lott is right there with him, if not, exceeding what he did then. LaKelion Graves had a tremendous performance. The list goes on of guys who we can name. Jermaine Bishop. But Trey Moore is that dude. Yeah. I'm telling you, you don't make guys 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds that can move like him. He really understands the route tree pretty well. Look, he's going to be a deep ball winner. Yeah. That's going to be like his thing, right? Because he can out-muscle and out-maneuver smaller defensive backs. He's always going to have that in his bag. But I like to see that they kind of ran the offense through him in such a way that when he wasn't getting the ball, he was such a focal point that it opened up things for everybody else. And the Jackson Shad, Trey Moore 1-2 combination there at Pflugerville Weiss is going to be pretty fun to watch. Now, the only question is going to be which college is going to get his commitment at the end of the day, and he's already got plenty to choose from, including Baylor, SMU, TCU, Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Oregon, and more.
Yeah. He was a guy. That's one of, I think, the really interesting things about 7-on-7 is they're known commodities, right? We knew. You mentioned Jermaine Bishop.
Right.
You mentioned Jalen Lott, right? Those were obviously spectacular performances. Also, are we really that surprised? Like, we've seen these guys, like, they're pretty impressive. This is our opportunity to see some of these guys have these star-making performances and get our first real glimpse at them.
Right.
And Trey Moore is a good example of a guy who we've known about, we've heard about, and then you get to see him and you're like, oh, I get it now. Absolutely.
562 yards last year with 6 touchdowns. Of course, he was playing alongside Adrian Wilson. So Wilson soaked up a lot of those catches. Those balls are now going to go to Trey Moore. By the way, just go ahead and shout out a couple of their other guys. Daniel Berry's a pretty good wide receiver over there as well. And Tylen Henderson is a 2027 name that you're really going to have to remember. He passed the eyeball test, too.
Another name you're going to have to remember, Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Powers, thanks for your time. There he goes, Greg Powers, our director of recruiting. He was sitting right here, but he's not here today, and that's why we recorded it early. Anyway, let's go over to V&M Moreno for a very special episode of America's Second Period Segment Final Thoughts.
I love you. Oh, sorry. I love Greg Powers, not you. Sometimes I love Tepper. I am pumped for these live events at coaching school.
Me too.
And I am so pumped for Tep and Step. So pumped.
It's going to be great. Yeah, live at coaching school. You want to throw that graphic back up there. Live at coaching school, July 20th and 21st. That's the next time you will see Texas Football Today. Probably go 6 hours.
So tune in.
Tune in, 11 a.m. And then Tuesday, July 22nd, live Tep and Step. Wherever you're watching this program.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be great. Live from Coach School in San Antonio. Hear about all the nonsense we get into down there in San Antonio. It's coming up here July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Put it in your Palm Pilot. That's going to do it for us. Remember, we're going on a hiatus here for a little bit from the studio. We're going to go dark and get things in order, but we so appreciate your loving support of this very program. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Greg Powers for hopping on with us. For V&A Moreno, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please give me your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you from San Antonio on July 20th, and then after that, we will see you for football season in August on Texas Football Today.
Bye!